All right, what's shaking, everybody? How are you doing? It is midweek on the Gregorian calendar as we are heading into the last part of this week, and I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are blessed. Hope you guys are shouting out the kingdom. I hope you guys are reading your scriptures. Hope you guys are keeping Elohim close. And, you know, I was reading Revelation 13 this morning, the beginning of 13, and it talks about the beast having this mortal wound, and he was healed, and everybody was in awe of the event. And all I could think about was the time when the American people, I guess the world, got hoaxed, where Mr. Donald J. Faked a shot to the ear, jumped behind the podium, dropped a little bit of moulage on, jumps up and shouts greatness for America. And I remember the people, everybody. In fact, there's memes going around that said, Trump almost died for your sins. And you have a system and a set of people right now between Elon and Donald that who could fight against them? Like who is able to war against them? It is one of these things that if in scriptures where it says there's 42 months of just the beast raking it in, which is exactly what has happened on day one when the Donald was sworn in, he was signing thing after thing after thing, and it has been nonstop. For a guy as old as he is, how does he operate to the fashion that he's operating? How has he done the things that he has done? And so, all my life when I used to read that set of scriptures, I always could envision like somebody just being blown away and like Dracula rising back up, like the shot had no effect. And that's all I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for that particular Antichrist piece. But if you're looking for scriptures that do fit together and a time that could potentially absolutely be what we're looking at right here, it's things that we should all take note of. It is a time and possibly a countdown to something that is going to be lesser quality of life coming into what's happening. So as we get prepared for whatever the future is, and I don't see any of this as fear. I see this as something that we should all take note of and observe and definitely talk amongst as people, talk about it for sure. Because we don't know, and I might just be off my rocker. It might just be the tinfoil hat might be an extra layer or something popping off the top of my hat. But if it's not, it's something to observe. And the good news is, or this is good news and bad news, right? According to the book of Revelation, a lot of people end up dead. A lot of people end up slaughtered. A lot of people of our Creator are slaughtered because the beast goes to war against the Torah keeper. The beast goes to war against the people. And as scary as that may sound, we are if literally a countdown based upon what we can see in scriptures, then it's something that's exciting. It's something that we're possibly close to something that's going to be extremely spiritual, extremely spectacular, something that is... it's going to make all of this worth it. And it may be like in a video game. When you make it to the final boss and you make it to the final level, and if only you can defeat the final boss, if only you can do what you need to do to make it through the end of this game, do you win the game? And so this is kind of what this is right here. And so all of us as children of the Most High, those of us who consider ourselves people of the Most High, and you qualify in those regards by a couple different things. According again to the book of Revelation, the people that are saved are those who keep the commandments of our Creator and also have the faith of Messiah Yahushua. So it's a two-edged sword that you must carry along with you. One is the Torah and one is our Messiah. And as we are swinging this sword around, that is what qualifies us to be children of the Most High. So regardless if I'm off my rocker or not, now is an absolutely very good time at whatever juncture you are in your life to seek the Most High, to go after his ways. And we've been brainwashed in this religious system that tells us, oh, these laws are hard, they can't keep them, they're for the old people, they're nailed to the cross. And we've all heard it, right? It's the same cult-like brainwashing that they all come out as zombies. And it's the same stuff we used to say, right? As we were zombies, we didn't know what to say. We were saved because some person in some place told us we were saved. And we were told how we were saved, but we never actually looked in the scriptures to see why it is that we believe that we were saved. And then you look at it, and it's talking about asking Jesus into our hearts, and talking about this new way of grace and forgiveness that has zero value on the majority of the scriptures and lets us live as we want to live. Because we got that magical rapture, choo-choo, on the way out of here, and it's crazy, right? When you think about it in those terms. So, guys, be ready. Be ready at whatever time it is. We have no idea when the Master returneth, but we do know the Master will return. So be ready. How do you be ready? Read your word. Okay, what you're looking at right before you is Yah Scriptures. It is the greatest English translation you will find. This is a limited edition version that is still out there. It has 103 books, 3,153 pages, nearly 7 pounds. And it is, people have fallen in love with these scriptures. People have fallen in love with this book. And any scriptures of our Creator is absolutely good as long as you get to the bottom line. And the bottom line is always that there is a covenant path that has been given to us by our Creator, and he will not neglect us. He will not forfeit us, and he will not forsake us. So all these devilish ghouls do all their darkness and all their goat god, Satanist worshiping, Saturn loving madness, we have one Elohim. We have a creator of the universe who we value with all that we have, and we will show our value of life and everything by our obedience. Obedience is love. If you love something, you will do what they tell you to do. It's called obedience. And the laws of our Creator are a beautiful, spectacular thing that all of us should consider. Okay. We are getting into the book of the Nazarene, book of Khalidi. This is the last book in Yah Scriptures. And we would go through what we're looking at right here is we are looking at when our Messiah was walking amongst his people, what does he answer to them? And so for those that have been going through this particular series, we know how our Messiah is talking, how he's responding, what his actions are. And I guess my goal when I'm reading through this is that I learn how my Messiah thinks and operates as I try to very much, I can't even say fine tune my life, because when I read this book, I realize that I have a lot of burrs, lot more than simple fine tuning. It's like I need a bigger grinding wheel to deal with a lot of the understanding that I'm dealing with myself based upon these readings. So here we are, 1624. A disciple, a Talmud, asked, "How long must men be subject to death?" Yahushua replied, "So long as women bear children." Another asked, "What is the food of the Ruach?" Yahushua said, "The truly hungry man eats bitter things and enjoys them. Even so does the hungry Ruach thrive on the bitterness of the world. The body is not nourished by bitterness and therefore enjoys food supplied by every healthful plant. If the Ruach is to be made healthy, the body must be subdued, for either the body is master or the Ruach is." Huge stuff, right? These are these things that it's like, as I'm sitting here talking about this, it's like, wow, there's a lot of things that I need to deal with, right? There's a lot of things that all of us have done to neglect our temples. And we know that our bodies are the temple of our Creator. And for Him to exist inside of us, it takes a lot of things. It takes a clean heart, a spirit, a humbleness. We need to. It's getting rid of all the evil and the leaven in our lives that is counterproductive to the work of the kingdom. And the work of the kingdom is to take the words of the Torah and to shine that light onto all those who are willing to come to the light. And those who are willing to come to the light will see the light. They'll hear the Torah and it'll tickle their ears, and they'll take that breath, their very first breath, outside of the matrix. And the matrix is this fake world that has been pulled over all of our eyes, all of our systems, the religious system, the government system, all of these things that we were just born into. That's what it is. And when you look at what the reality is versus what the matrix says, the reality is that all of Scriptures is to be understood, to be listened to be walked on, to be walked with, to have it embrace our life. It should be the shoes that therefore we walk on. It should be before the frontlets, before our eyes. It is our arms and legs. We do not make decisions without the consent of the Torah. We don't have to know what right from wrong is because we have the Torah. That's why it is so imperative that we have the Torah as part of our life, not as a religious system, not as like something, but as I want to stay alive. I want to keep my family alive. I want to serve the Creator of the universe as He wishes me to serve Him. That includes keeping His Shabbats, keeping His appointed times, keeping all of the things that He has asked us to keep, and His commandments. And we don't have Levitical priests, so we don't have all of that side of the house, but we do have 150-ish commands. And there's, you can add in like 15, 20 here more for the hygiene laws because we grouped a lot of those together. But there's commands that we keep today. There's things that will keep us healthy. Unclean food is absolutely one of them, right? If you eat unclean food, you have a greater chance of dying early. Your body has to fight off stuff that it shouldn't have to fight off. People don't understand this. People are so childish in their minds that they think it is a curse of our Creator not to be able to eat that filthy swine, not to be able to eat that pus pocket, hormone-ridden shrimp. You could toss a pile of shrimp into a contaminated bucket of just undrinkable water and leave them there for a few weeks. And by the time that is done, that water is clear and it is something you could actually drink. And all of those shrimp are completely okay. But then you're going to go grab those things and you're going to pop that pus pocket hormone right into your mouth and pop that. You're like, that crispy, crunchy, tender, flaky crust is all nasty. That is the janitors of the world. That is the stuff that can eat that bacteria and do this. And there's no reason you would want to eat it. So our Creator says, hey, eat this and live. Do this and you'll live better. And everything in the Scriptures, everything in the Torah is very good advice. Now, you live in a world where the Satanists have their own Bible. They have their own way. When you read the stuff of Anton LaVey, when you read the stuff of all of these Satanists and these Freemasons and all these horrible people, they all have doctrine that is weird, wicked, and evil. Aleister Crowley was one of the most evil dudes ever to live. He was always killing off kids. He was always doing demonic stuff, opening portals. He and Jack Parsons, these guys were just very, very evil people. When you read their doctrine, it's jacked up. It's iffy. It is, whoa, what are we doing here, right? Bloodletting, spiritual stuff, chants, incantations, spiritual control, all of these things that are, when you read it, it's very bad advice. And when you read the Torah of our Creator, you look at that and we have advice not to deal with this. In fact, if we ever met a witch or a Satanist, if we were walking in a Torah land, we'd all pick up rocks and look at that thing and like chuck rocks, kill it, and then go bury it before night. That's exactly what we would do. Same for all these other crimes. These same people that I'm fighting for that have spent 25 years on death row for probably things they didn't commit. This isn't Torah based, right? At the behest of several witnesses, most of these guys that really truly killed people would be killed. And if we lived in a Torah-based community where you literally, if you came up as a witness, you were going to get a man killed, then it would be a different story than it is now, where they arrest you and they stick you in this thing. And, it's just insane. So, guys, the Torah of our Creator is amazing. And so when we eat the Torah that is supplied by us, the meat and the potatoes, and we have the understanding of the Torah, then our Messiah becomes very, very clear. His role becomes clear as our salvation, as our priest, as our advisor, as our counselor, as our the Prince of Peace. This is who our Messiah is. Very much qualified based upon his actions, based upon his deeds, based upon his walk of the Torah, as he tells us, if you love me, keep my commands. And then the Christians like, oh, we keep his commands. We keep the two commands. They say there's two commands because like, oh, it's the greatest command, and which is to love God with all your heart and to love your neighbor as yourself. And I do that. And it's the question is, if you love something with truly all of your heart, mind, and soul, and that is the greatest of all commandments, but yet you neglect what they say, don't care about what they say, have no idea what they actually say, then you're a liar. You're a filthy liar, and you will be exposed on Judgment Day, and your crimes of ignorance will absolutely be exposed. Continuing on. 28. One of the women, Salome, who had accompanied the Talmudim, asked Yahushua, is it within the Torah for a man to marry and yet not lie with his wife? So we have some marriage issues. And so these are things that none of us are qualified to actually even speak on, which is why it's interesting to hear what our Messiah has to say. 29. Yahushua answered, it is never right to live falsely or to dishonor a pledge. Always let whatever be done accord with the intention declared. Salome said, Adonai, when will the rule of Elohim come? Let's talk real quick about the last thing before we break into this. So, this is a specific question to a man that was not working the marriage bed with his wife. I guess that's the closest diplomatic way I could say that. And there was some kind of some sort of problem within this. The woman's not happy. Right? Like, this isn't cool. What's happening here? And Messiah's answer is never right to live falsely or dishonor a pledge. And inside of a pledge, you're to love your wife and take care of her, and all the stuff inside of a marriage system, and it needs to be done according to that honor and pledge. And so it's kind of a slap against the face of Salome's husband. He needs to help out Salome, take care of Salome. Now 30. Salome said, Adonai, when will the rule of Elohim come? Yahushua replied, when women place greater value on the treasures they hold, for men will strive harder for gold than for brass. When man and women cease to pander to the flesh and become truly one in Ruach, for of this I assure you, unless man and woman exalt the Ruach above the flesh, they will not know the life of glory. Lots of stuff here. Question is, when will the rule of Elohim come? And Messiah talks a lot about this. And a lot of people keep asking Messiah when this will be. And his answer is essentially that the rule of Elohim is here. If we embrace it, if we embrace the Torah life, we have the governing side of the rule of Elohim amongst us. So that is the system that we all need to bring together and that we all need to be keeping right now as we work into the world that is to come. And according to scriptures, the world to come is going to be a world based 100% on Torah. It's 100% based upon the way of Elohim. And so it's interesting that Messiah talks about man and woman in this particular piece. Because Messiah says when women place greater value on the treasures they hold, for men will strive harder for gold than for brass. And that is absolutely true, right? Brass compared to gold is zero, zilch. Nobody would strive. They wouldn't give it a second thought. But when man and woman cease to pander to the flesh and become truly one in Ruach, this is inside of a marriage system, right? And to become truly one spirit in Ruach, then that marriage system has to work inside of the Torah. It's a two-way system that the man and the woman, the man is guiding their house based upon Torah. Sometimes these days, women have to guide their house based upon it, and sometimes it takes a while to do this. But in a perfect system, the man is guiding the female in Torah, and the house is united under not only the marriage in of itself, but under the governance of the system of Elohim, which that governance of the system of Elohim is that there's explicit never to commit adultery. And we know not to look at other women, because that is essentially committing adultery in our heart, not looking at other women with lust in our eyes, according to Messiah. And so it's one of these things that when we are under the strength of the Torah as a system, and as something that both the man and the female agree to, that yes, this is good, this is how we want to live our life, this is how we want to obey, it's a good system, then you're running the system in one ruach, in one spirit. So that's essentially it, right? We need to bring the rule of Elohim amongst us first by delivering it to ourselves, delivering it, the Torah, delivering the Torah to our families, to our children, to those who will listen, anybody. It's a living, breathing thing that must be shouted from the housetops. 32. All right, we're doing good. We're still doing it. Another woman asked, who then shall know eternal Kai? Okay, great question, right? Who then will know eternal life? Yahushua said, all will have eternal life. And when you think about that, that's pretty hardcore. But not all will know it, while many will be found in a place of sorrow. That's hardcore, right? That's what we want to avoid, is eternal life of sorrow, right? It can absolutely be worse than the paradise we are on right now. And a lot of times in life, we're like, oh, this sucks. And a lot of times it can't be worse than this. It can be worse than this. I promise you, whatever the system is that comes after this, number one, it's what's the word? It's beyond a lifetime, right? It's the life existence of being rejected, not only by the Creator's Son, but also by the Creator, and put amongst those in the same place. People that had zero value and thankfulness and loyalty back to our Creator, who's delivered everything to us. Right? And so that it's going to be a doomsday place. Whether or not we're burning and singeing and hot all the time and terrible stuff, I don't know. But it's going to be a horrible place that's not going to be great. That it's just not great. Continuing on, well, I mean, I guess that's a huge thing, right? That a lot of people won't make this, and this is the same thing that Scripture says, especially in the book of Matthew, where it says most don't make the kingdom. Most do not make that path. The path, they fall off the path into a wide cavern, a darkness, and the distractions of life take everybody away. Remember the seeds. Remember how Messiah talks about the seeds, and some fall in the dirt, and some of the sun comes and burns up, and some that take root. And those are the ones that hear the word and do the word, and the distractions of the world don't take them out. But that's what we have to understand is, the closer that we get to Scriptures and the closer we get to our Creator, the harder that Hasatan is going to come with the distractions. So we have to realize that this is a battle. This is not just a simple devotion to our Creator. It is aligning ourselves with the right side of the winning team. Continuing on. 34. She said, no woman can make a man good. And Yahushua replied, any woman can make a man better. Okay, huge deal. Huge thing. And absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, a good woman can make a better man. It can make a dude turn around. There's a lot to be said. And women have a incredible amount of power over the man. We were all created this way, right? It was meant to have this give and pull, non-dominant kind of style of system. And after the fall of Adam and Eve, the system was that man had dominion over the woman. And so in a perfect relationship, in a Torah-based family, then it would be a great man leading the family in a Torah-based way. And that would be what you would want. But sometimes we get unequally yoked, right? And sometimes we get into these things. And as women out there, I would encourage all of you all not to give up on your men, not to throw them away. I get it. I get it. Men can be very, very thick-headed. We can just not get it when it comes to the thinking of women. We sometimes just can't put these things together. And so I think it's good that we were built like this, but sometimes men can take a lot of work. And women, if you're willing to work with them and give them that time and that dedication, if they are in love with you, then what you desire and the ways you desire are going to matter to them, right? That's what being a good man is about conforming to the desires that are of the better realm of running a family. And there's nothing wrong with reading scriptures. There's nothing unmanly about reading scriptures as a family. You will learn stuff that 99% of the world's population will never ever know. Basics of Bible stories, basics of Torah, the great understanding of the stuff that we're supposed to really have on our heart, mind, and soul. And when you read that as a family, that makes you an alpha male, right? It totally makes you an alpha male, and it makes you guys an alpha family for doing such a thing. And so I agree with Messiah. Any woman can make a man better. I totally agree with that. So guys, women, give us a chance. Guys, love your women. Take care of them. Respect them. Cherish them. Guys, it's important. And it's a work. It is something that it takes time, and it definitely takes work. Keep your eyes on the side of the grass. Don't bob your head over to that Monsanto-ridden other side of the green grass. It looks better, because it'll just kill you off. Okay, here we are, 36. When they came to a place of rest, Philippo said, Adonai, teach us to understand our Father in the Shamaim. And if we know his nature, it will suffice. So there's a big thing, right? Absolutely great question. You have the Son of the Most High standing in front of you, and an excellent, most amazing question. Help us understand our Father in the Shamaim. What's his nature? Okay, and before I even go into this, and I haven't even read this at all, but I have talked to people before, and one of the best, most important reasons to read the Torah and to understand the Torah intimately, Genesis to Deuteronomy, Genesis to Deuteronomy, Genesis to Deuteronomy, is that we understand what the nature of our Creator is, because we get observations and examples of how people biffed it, how people were supposed to operate, or how people did operate, how things, when they were good, how they operated, when things were bad, what made them not operate right. And all of the bad things that happen in scriptures ended up happening to an unfaithful people. A people that got so enamored with the world that they were in around them, they forgot that their Elohim was literally in their midst. And this is something that is astounding. And I think I'm glad I wasn't back in those days, because a lot of people failed that test. I would hope that this would be obvious, and that it would be in just such an incredible thing to see our Creator amongst us in such a way. But maybe I would have been, cold-hearted and stone-hearted as these guys from back in our day, our forefathers and foremothers. I don't know. Hard to tell, right? Testing is always around us, so we got to just make sure we make it through our tests. And the tests of this time are always the tests of this time, right? Are we these dedicated people? Are we willing to be the children of the Most High? And let's hear what he says about what is the nature of our Elohim. 37, Yahushua answered, I have been with you some time, but still many of you do not understand. I do not speak of myself, but as the mouthpiece of the Father. Can the nature of the Father be much different from that of his bens? Big stuff, right? Number one, this is another Trinity breaking verse. There's so many of them, right? The entire scriptures, from the beginning of scriptures, even early on, when our Creator says he is one, our Creator says it in Deuteronomy with his own words, I am one. Now, if he's two, and he's actually two instead of one, that makes him a liar. That would mean he broke the own set of words that he set before us. So in biblical hermeneutics, or the principle of biblical hermeneutics, the principles are that the very first thing that is set in scriptures is the precedent for the rest of it. You can't go further into scriptures and say that our Creator is three people when our Creator says he is one. He never ever says that. And so right here, our Messiah very clearly says that he is coming in the way of his Father. I am coming under the instruction of my dad. He's not doing this by his own nature. He doesn't want to be the sacrifice for this. I am sure when he got the news from his pops that he was having to deal with the humans because the humans had botched this and the fallen had taken over and humanity was destroyed, and the only way that this was ever going to be saved is when his son went down there, and this was the process. This is what he's going to have to do, and he's got to walk this Torah perfectly. He's like, Yahushua, I need you to walk this Torah perfectly, and I need you to save these people. If not, they have destroyed themselves, and I've been prophesying of your existence from the very beginning that you were going to come to save the people. Now I need you to do this, right? He didn't want to do this. But right here, he says he's the mouthpiece of the Father, right? He didn't say he's the Father. He's the mouthpiece. The Trinitarians would take this and just run. Oh, he's the mouthpiece of the Father. That means he and the Father are one. That doesn't say that. But what he is saying is that can the nature of the Father be much different than that of the sons? Well, we see the Son walking amongst us. We see he's peaceful. We see he's humble. We see he has extremely wise, out of this world advice. We see that he is able to conquer hunger by fasting. He is able, and he did not submit to the hands of Hasatan and everybody messing with him during this time. We know that he took on the challenges of humanity. And so we also know that he was kind, he was gentle, he was a attorney of doom. Like, you did not want to challenge this guy. You did not want to articulate with him. All of these high rolling dudes that were the bookworms, the only guys that could read and had the books at their disposal. He beat them all up. This guy, he did some Torah kung fu, and he just completely owned every single one of these guys. This is our boss. This is the boss, right? He was sent from the big boss, Dad, Elohim, Most High. That's Pops. That's the creator of the universe. That is our most beautiful, most exciting, most craziest engineer guy that could ever put this together for us. And then he gave us his kid, and his kid is amazing. And so we know, based upon what his kid just said right here, that the dad is simply amazing. That if the son was healing on the Sabbath day and that things of this nature were very, very important to him, and that healing is a big thing of his, it's all good. This is the kind of Elohim that we want. And if we need the answer of what does our Elohim look like, our Elohim is the example of his son. It's the example of who came and showed us and did it. And we have the scriptures. And we know that he loves the children. We know that he loves the lepers. We know that he loves the broken. That when people try to judge people caught in adultery outside of the Torah, he comes to their aid. He beats up everybody who's coming and trying to pervert the Torah. So, guys, this is an incredible example of who our Creator is. We're already into this. I don't want to start again on this tomorrow. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's do 38. Whoops, let's not. Let's go 38 right here, because this ties in everything we're doing right here. Okay, I teach you about Yahuwah the Father, for you have to carry my words to others, and spoken thus, they will understand. Okay, huge thing, right? He just said he's not the Father. He's going to teach you about Yahuwah the Father, and he wants others to carry the words to others, right? This is the game telephone. This is the game where everybody hears the message and we all spread the message, right? The human connection, the old way that things were supposed to be. This is what they were there for, to bring the word. Continuing on. But he is not quite like earthly fathers, for his wisdom is infinitely greater. Think of an earthly father and magnify his greatness and goodness, his wisdom and justice, his sense of discipline and compassion 1,000 times. And you glimpse Yahuwah, the Father, hazily. Wow, this is so incredible when we hear this kind of stuff, because we don't know what to get from our Creator. We know what he wants. We know how he wants it. We know what it takes to get there. But when you hear about things of earthly fathers, and a lot of us didn't have earthly fathers. A lot of, I was a mutt. I never ever met my biological father. Was adopted a bunch of times. I am a mutt. And so when I talk about earthly fathers, I'm talking about let's present the good earthly father, the one that is supposed to take care of the family, love the family, nourish the family, not beat the family, abuse the family, all this kind of stuff, right? In a perfect world, pretend that is what it is. And that is a good dad, right? That's the pedestal that we put a good dad upon. Works hard for the family, takes care of the family, loves the wife, takes care of all the stuff that men need to take care of, right? That's a good dad. Now we have our Creator who's way better. Magnify his greatness and goodness, his wisdom and justice. And that feels really good. If you magnify the justice and the wisdom and the goodness. And these are all great news. These are all very, very good news for those of us who worry about the road that we have walked, about the road that we walk. And I do worry. And I think all of us should worry. I don't think we should be fearful. I don't think we should live in fear. But I do believe that we should understand that our path needs to be squeaky clean, and that the closer we can walk the Torah, the closer we can get our heart aligned to the Torah, the better off eternity is going to be. And again, the Torah is an alpha thing. If you're looking for the boss, the absolute best set of alpha instructions that we could ever have, that's the Torah. It's the beefcake. It's the strength. It's something that will never let you down, and it's something that once you read it, absorb it, build it, walk it, it becomes alive. It is those words that jump off the page that become something in your life that is amazing. And it's called the Torah walk. It's called Torah life. And those of you in it know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you looking for it, it's that breath of fresh air. It's that skies that are blue without the planes dropping crap all over them and making our skies trash, right? It is that clear of breathing, and it's something that all of us need in our lives. And our Elohim is worth it. His Son is worth it. The instructions, the first 5 books of Scriptures is worth it. Having them preserved, giving us a Torah, giving us great instructions, it's to be thankful for. Our first commandment is be fruitful. The next one is multiply and replenish the earth. Those are good instructions, guys. Those are things we would not want to neglect. So, guys, with that, I hope you have a good day. I hope you guys have a good week. Much love to y'all. I'm out.